Another little Disney story? El Matador. One fine day in Radiator Springs, Major and Lightning McQueen were out for a drive together. Lightning stopped to look at some grazing bulldozers. "Them's just like the ones I used to fight," said Mater. "What?" Lightning cried in disbelief. "That's right," Mater replied. "I was a famous bulldozer fighter in Spain." He began to tell his tale. "They called me El Matador," Mater went on, spinning his story. He described his decked-out gold paint job. As El Matador stood in the centre of the packed arena, he struck a confident pose. The crowds cheered wildly. Among the fans in the stands were two Spanish senoritas. "Senor Matador," they called as they cooed and ahed over the famous bulldozer fighter. Just one wink from the brave El Matador made his adoring fans gasp and giggle. Soon it was time for business. With a nod of his head, El Matador signalled that he was ready. A door at the side of the ring opened, and a giant, angry-looking bulldozer rolled out. For a while the two vehicles stood, eyes locked, sizing each other up. Finally El Matador raised his tow hook, one glimpse of the red cape dangling from it, and presto! The bulldozer charged full speed towards the cape. El Matador stood his ground, not moving an inch. Then just in time he whisked his cape out of the bulldozer's path. "Olé!" the crowd cheered. Again and again the bulldozer charged. Each time El Matador dodged him with a last-second move, until the bulldozer finally surprised him. He came up behind El Matador and pushed him clear across the ring, driving him right into the ground. The Spanish senoritas, along with the rest of the crowd, watched and waited in silence. Could this be the end of El Matador? He was completely buried. Then the tow truck's hook poked out from a pile of dirt. At the end of it was El Matador's red cape. The battle would go on. El Matador dusted himself off and bravely faced the huge bulldozer once again. They cruised slowly around the arena. Through narrowed eyes they studied each other. The arena was silent except for the sound of their revving engines. Suddenly, the bulldozer smacked the front blade on the ground. Two doors at the side of the ring opened, and two more bulldozers drove out. Now it was 3 against 1. How in the world could El Matador fight them all? The bulldozers charged for a time. El Matador fought off all 3 of them. He used his backward driving skills and showed off some other fancy moves. But then the 3 bulldozers circled him and began to close in. There was nowhere for El Matador to go. Nowhere but up. That is, El Matador waited until the last possible moment. Then with a mighty leap he jumped clear out of the path of the charging bulldozers, who collided and collapsed in a twisted heap. "Olé!" El Matador cried, landing heroically on top of the wrecked bulldozers. The crowds went wild. The adoring senoritas threw roses. El Matador caught a flower in his grill and the ladies giggled. But the celebration was short-lived. Soon more bulldozers rolled into the ring. It turned out that the wrecked ones had some friends. "There I was, surrounded," Mater told Lightning. "Bulldozers all around me." Mater and Lightning were still stopped in the middle of Radiator Springs. A fence separated them from the field of grazing bulldozers. Lightning was hanging on to Mater's every word. "What did you do?" he asked. "What did I?" Mater began. "Don't you remember? You were there too." Then Mater continued his story, but this time he included Lightning in the action. "They sure liked your fancy red paint job," Mater remembered. "In the arena," Lightning gasped. "His paint job was red, just like El Matador's cape." The bulldozers revved their engines and began to chase Lightning around the ring. Olé! The crowd cheered. Back in Radiator Springs, Lightning interrupted the story. Mater, he said, that did not happen. Well, try telling that to them there bulldozers, Mater replied, pointing beyond Lightning. The bulldozers that had been grazing on the other side of the fence were now surrounding Mater and Lightning. Huh? Lightning noticed the bulldozers eyeing his shiny red paint job. Oh! He took off down the dirt road, the bulldozers speeding after him. Just then, the two fans rolled up alongside Mater. Senor Mater, they said together. Senoritas, Mater replied charmingly. He tossed on a Materdor hat. Olé!